I got invited to be a part of a debate, one of the first debates really in the world with the other side, with scientists and doctors from the other side. That event is happening next Thursday. It is called One Conversation. You can find it online at oneconversationatatime.com. And it was meant to be a debate between both sides so that we could get this issue on the table. And if there is science from the pro-vaccine side that can refute many of the things you just heard today, much of the science that's coming from Canada, France, Japan, Italy, all over the world, as I've said, this was the place to do it. But I speak in past tense of was going to be because it changed. I have one of the people that put it together. Dr. Shannon Kroner is joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for putting work. We've been talking for months about this event. First of all, what was the idea of the event? And you worked with Brittany Vallis, who's a concerned mother that is simply questioning what do we do to have healthy children, right? Why did you decide to have this debate to begin with?
Well, I mean, I just really felt that both sides really need to come together and we need to put the information out there, and we tried to get a spectrum of experts. I mean, the top of the top, the people who are making the vaccines, and we wanted to bring them all to the table to have this kind of roundtable discussion. And we did it. We actually succeeded.
In fact, along the way, when we were building the team for our side, and Dr. Tony Bark and Sherry Tenpenny, and even Dr. Christopher Shaw coming from British Columbia to be a part of it. And early on we were saying you're never going to get the other side. They're never going to agree to it. So I remember Tony Bark saying this is never going to happen. They will never do it, but you did. You got this amazing panel of immunologists and vaccinologists and pediatricians. And were you honest with them? Were you honest about what this was going to be?
Completely transparent. When I was told that this is not going to happen, we're not going to be able to make it happen. When someone tells me I can't make something happen, I'm like, okay, that gives me even more fuel to the fire to make it happen. And so Brittany and I, we were completely transparent with the doctors that we spoke to, doctors and scientists, and said, we are inviting a spectrum of people to speak on a panel to discuss, we phrased it as public health and immunity, and we let them know who the panelists were. And since the anti-vax side kind of said yes at first, so that was our panelist to begin with, and the people who we got, they agreed. We had someone who's working on a vaccine for, he works for with Alzheimer's, and we got a doctor who, he was actually the one who got the FDA approval for a vaccine that's being used today. And we had a great OBGYN who, her thing is all about HPV and oncology. And these people agreed to it.
And they were happy to be able to finally speak their truth, their science, and have a forum to do that. Which is the nature of debate. It's the nature of discussion in a free country, free speech. We should put it all on the table. I was excited. It was all lined up. And then, what, about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago?
So about 2 weeks ago, we ended up getting onto a phone call with our vaccinologist, and he put us on a conference call with Dr. Walter Ornstein.
Walter Ornstein, who's a character in Vaxxed. He's a man who works at the CDC.
He's the head of the vaccine department at Emory.
Okay.
And we got on a conference call with him, and we invited him, told him to build his best team possible, and he said absolutely not. This is not something he wants to participate in. And so after that, then emails started to come back to us. I'm sorry, we can't do this. I've been advised by the ACP, by the AAP,
American Academy of Pediatrics,
and that this is not something that they want to be involved in.
And they said things like, we're being told we're not media trained, right? Wasn't that one of the arguments?
Yeah, so after we lost our panelists, after we lost our pro people, then Brittany and I, we went back at it and tried again. We secured another group of 4 people, a neurologist, a neuroscientist, and then within 24 hours, each one of them bailed. Said they had already agreed. We were getting, looking at plane tickets and stuff like that for them. And then 24 hours later, they bailed, and then yeah, we got these emails saying that they are not going to do it anymore. The last person to reply was an epidemiologist who she specifically said, I'm a scientist, but I'm not media trained. And the World Health Organization requires that if someone is going to sit on a panel and speak openly with anybody who is considered vaccine hesitant, that they must be media trained.
Wow. And by the way, apparently the AAP reached out to these people, these institutions, and they did not provide. I mean, to me, okay, I won't fight that. I understand you have to be media trained. Our scientists and doctors are not, but that's okay. We thought the science would stand for itself, and that would be enough. I'm media trained, so I guess that I could say that I have that background.
And we had actually reached out to the Georgia AAP, and the person that we spoke to there, who was in their vaccine department, was really excited to be involved at first, sent us tons of information that she wanted us to share. So then to hear that it was our infectious disease doctor who contacted us and said, I'm really sorry, but the AAP contacted me, that I can't do it.
It's astounding to me.
These people are being silenced.
That they're being silenced. They wanted to do it. They want to speak out. And the AAP did not provide media trained, didn't say we're pulling you out and putting in media trained scientists. They just pulled everybody out. They have essentially forfeited this discussion. They have forfeited their place in this debate. And I
went to the CDC and asked for media-trained people as well.
Right. You went to everybody.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to have this debate at a time where we are seeing rises in autoimmune disease. The sickest nation of children is in America in the industrialized world. The sickest generation of children we've ever seen. We have scientists all over the world now providing published science in medical journals showing exactly what the mechanism by which vaccines cause autoimmune disease in mice, in monkeys, in animal studies, in demographic studies. I mean, it's becoming prolific, the amount of science that's on our side. And I would think, if I am a pro-vaxxer and I'm out there and I'm thinking, it's getting harder and harder to keep using this bumper sticker slogan, the science exists, we're right, but all these anti-vaxxers are providing science now. They're providing journals and things that the people that watch this show are educated. They have got to want the heads of the medical institutions to step up and defend them, to step up and defend this product that you are telling us is safe. If it's so safe, if your science is so robust, why is it you cannot sit on a stage with Dr. Christopher Shaw or Dr. Tony Bark or journalist Del Batry?
Right.
Am I wrong?
No, I mean, the craziest part is that when we reached out to these people and they said no, my response to them was that, well, we've been marketing it to med students and nursing students, pharmacy students, so we're going to have an auditorium of the general public and then these students. So
all
if
of whom
you
are going to be allowed to get on a microphone and ask questions
exactly.
themselves.
And so I said, if you can't provide your best, then we're going to have to go to the people that are not the best. And then those people are going to be left with whatever information that is shared. And so you need to provide your best. And they couldn't do that. They wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
They don't think their science can stand up in a discussion against ours. I believe that what you have unearthed here is the beginning, really truly the beginning of the end of this forced pharma-driven medical establishment.
Definitely.
Because I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. My show, they're going to get sick of me saying it. The medical establishment, the pro-vaxxers, can no longer claim the high ground on science. Right. We are ready to stand on any stage. People ask me, Della, will you talk? I said, I will sit down with Bill Gates tomorrow if he wants to have this discussion. I will sit down with Paul Offit. Paul Offit, you can sit right here next Thursday if you want this seat and tell me what you know about vaccines.
He was the only person that didn't respond, by the way.
Didn't respond at all. Yeah. Stanley Plotkin even responded.
Stanley Plotkin responded with some not nice words, and Walter Ornstein. Hotez actually considered it and then said he had to ask his boss and that he needed to provide food on the table for his family.
Ah, got it. So he could lose his job.
So
if he
could
decides
lose
to
his,
be
and I
part
think
of
that that's what was actually happening is that these people could lose their jobs.
Just so we know, we actually are really looking forward to this event though, because it's still going to happen. We are still doing it. Everybody needs to check this out. Go to oneconversationatatime.com. If you're in the Atlanta area or anywhere near it, come on down and see it live. We have a beautiful theater where it's going to be taking place, and we are still going to let the other side be represented. We're going to be playing the statements that are made in our news, on television, in interviews by many of these pro-vaccine scientists and doctors, and then we're going to let some of the scientists, some of whom many of us haven't seen on a stage. I'm really looking forward to Dr. Christopher Shaw, who I've talked about so many times, his amazing science coming out of British Columbia, and his team. Of course, Tony Bark, Sherry Tenpenny, Dr. James Lyons-Weiler. Who am I missing?
We have a whistleblower from the EPA.
A whistleblower from the EPA.
David Lewis.
Yep, David Lewis. Fantastic. We're going to talk about HPV vaccine, the numbers.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be an amazing event. I know that Brittany and I have put in so much work, and so we want to see this just.
And by the way, I think when this is over, we're going to make this a hit, you're going to make this a hit, and we're going to make it such a hit that they will never, ever deny showing up to something like this again. Thank you for this. It's going to be an amazing event. Everyone wants to check that out. It's going to be streaming live. Yes. So go to the website and you'll have all of that information. Shannon, I'll see you next week in Atlanta.
Thank you.